What's up, guys? It's your man, Dr. Marco, aka BBC, and get Early Momo and you see the feature of the girls again on Boombuzz.
Hey, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
I see that you spent a few hours with Keke and ID earlier today.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of theirs, and I'm just wondering, because some of us that came up around the same era,
Yeah.
how do you rate, that era, Kenny, Timon, IG, for what they did for the music and media and pushing Nigerian music at the time?
It's funny how you asked me this as the first question because we ended the show on this note, and it dawns on you that when they say don't forget your culture or your history, it's not just about whatever you're about to do, it's pretty much everything that makes us who we are.
Right.
And it's very interesting that so for me, right, being an African kid in Nigeria, of course, if it was Nigeria, they would say, let's say, you didn't necessarily have anything real time that gave you pride in yourself or that made you understand. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is, as a young kid, I'm watching Kenya and they wanted to be born to America. Like, hey, first of all, we're supposed to be Africans and worthless, right? We're supposed to be condescended upon by the world, right? But there's Kenya and they wanted to be born to Americans. Right there in front of their homes, they're like, wait a minute. So in Nigeria, person can go to America and interview. Oh, okay, then boom, red carpet Grammys. I'm like talking to all these guys. Okay, so it was encouraging. Of course, nobody's perfect. There's no perfect run in life. Yeah, we all make mistakes. Well, taking it back to North Mexico culture, I show come on like you can't. There's no mistake that teaches you how to not make mistakes again. But it was a beautiful era. It's a beautiful era to behold and to remember, so that we're able to trace back the people who, before the advent of, say, the internet era, had something. They did something. Like they did Two-Face. Like they did Azalus. Like they did all these great acts. Essence, Kennison Brown, Gold. Right. They worked it. Whatever it was, they were the streaming numbers.
Yep.
Right. That's it. I remember as I was frustrated by what's that song again? US one, bruh. TV station, US one, okay. US one, okay. Yeah, I know already.
I know it's one.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Shout out to that era because that was the era of the 2 yellow humpers.
Right.
Yeah. There's money in music and not just real facts.
People now just you can't fathom, if you look at it with today's lenses, the fact that there were these guys that had two Hummers, they were everywhere and the dress flying, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Are you worried though? Okay, so why I'm asking this, there's the Biggie documentary coming out in a couple of days, right, on Netflix. Everybody's excited about it. I'm excited about it as well. Are you worried though that we as a people, and now to your point, it's not just Yoruba, we as a Nigerian people, forget all our ethnic differences. Are you worried that A, we celebrate our legends enough, and B, don't even document our times?
Am I worried? I wouldn't say worried, but it gives you too many. Everybody in Nigeria, too many musicians. I don't say everybody. That's a bit ambiguous to go. How do I say that? Most people want to be self-made so bad. So that's a concern. But it's not necessarily a worry because at the end of the day, greatness is greatness regardless. Plus, that's not that needs to be lost. So no matter how much you document, so it's good for documentation purposes. Like, I mean, I've had an interview with CNN, and I'm sure they are archiving that. I'm also sure everybody, as long as they, maintenance. I'm sure NT would have great. NT probably have one or two good things, but when the internet era, that would document ourselves, we could keep memories ourselves. So, But it's not so much of a worry, even though it's a concern.
So, in what terms do you see yourself now, right? Because you are kind of like you straddle two eras, right? So there's the, 10 years ago, and now you're still in the conversation. How do you straddle those two eras? Because you are from an era of OGs, and then you're in the space of youngins. How do you straddle that? What matters to you? Defining being someone from those two eras.
It's simple. The balance is the equilibrium. It's the only thing that determines the relevance then and now is talent. Right. I don't believe that talent becomes the property you get before. If you're gifted, you're gifted. Bro, somebody is getting good. I'm playing show. I know there's this weirdness in Nigeria where it's almost as though lots of people want to prove to you why. Because there's an emergency, you know the two things, man. What do you mean? Like, if you're an artist that is real to yourself, there will always be message, there will always be lyrics to talk about. As long as you're not trying to be lyrical supreme every time. Because once you say 1 time, 2 time, 3 times, 2 years, 3 years, it becomes boring and stale. So it's not I guess the best thing to do is focus on what makes you who you are. So in the era of the OGs, which I was very, very young as and I couldn't really do much, what they tell you is he's a talented kid. Now, I guess I'm a talented man. It remains ad infinitum if you're honest and if it's true that you're talented. What do they say? If you leave, what is E in English?
Honor.
Yes.
Right.
Let me rephrase that to something valuable. If you leave value here and you travel and you come back, as long as in its original state it's value, you will meet that value regardless.
Gotcha.
So either ways, I guess the equilibrium is just make sure that you're bringing something to the table whenever you're being mentioned or you're being yourself.
Right. So just in general terms, what are your thoughts about Nigerian hip-hop? I'll explain why I'm asking. So for many of us, hip-hop is rapping along, right? Because that's how we've been expressing it in this part of the world. But hip-hop spans way beyond that. It's a lifestyle. Do you think there's a hip-hop culture in Nigeria, or some of us that were influenced by the things that we saw on TV and we kind of liked it and we found out that, oh shit, I can do this as well? Is there a real Nigerian hip-hop culture, or is it something that we conditioned to think that exists?
There's a real Nigerian hip-hop culture, and I get all this challenge to you as well. Let's have a documentary where we showed that what information we found. On the plane, I discovered that Shoki was one of the pioneers of hip-hop in Nigeria. Right? I'm talking hip-hop, this is my term, most of them don't play. Yeah, you get pissed to whip too. Yes, that level of strong hip-hop. I remember, because being a youngin, that also, I don't know how youngins do it now, but then, we leave McCarthy and get a bus and stop at Marcos Sandfield, which is where the mobile for the station is right now offers Bangladesh, right? And I think around that area, Axis was where even Ezra Studios was with the DJ Abdullah. What's this one that was produced? He was sound engineer for so long. He has this very Busta Rhymes, demeanor type. He's a producer. He's a very goofy slash. With a screen change. Right, it's DJ Abdullah, and there's this guy. Then there was T.Y. With the Stripes Men. They had that individual style. Yes, there was all these things, right? We would go there, I would go out there and just try to
right, so there was that.
Sticking back to what the question was.
Yeah, the question is there a Nigerian hip-hop culture?
Yes.
Or it's something that we just think there is?
There is a Nigerian hip-hop culture. But like I said, I told you, let's have a documentary done. Let's talk to Freestyle, let's talk to LD, let's talk to KB, let's talk to Shapi, because at some point she was in the tribe, right? And that was where Monday Oya was record. I'm not sure if T.Y. is passed, but I think I saw something about that. But like, there's J.A.G. the Methodon, right? Then there's LD Extra Large, right? All these guys, where there's Junior and Pretty. I think Pretty is still alive. Who's having this conversation? So it's okay. It's easy for us to have this talk and say, "Oh, is it being documented?" About who's doing documentation? Us. Okay, so let's get it done. So there's a hip hop culture in Nigeria for sure. Maybe we don't have enough spotlight shed on that, and maybe it's time to do it.
Right. So how do you make music now? There's no, and you come across as somebody who doesn't have a lot of pressure. Like you're not bothered by extra pressure. You are driving yourself with whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. So how does that influence you making music now? Like, how do you make music now?
I learned that somebody sold his guitar for over 15 million naira. Right. It's not because that guitar is worth 15 million naira, because you really need so much practice and so much usage to the point where it becomes more valuable. If you practice your craft well enough, it becomes so valuable. I'm sure somebody who closes his eyes and on the scale, right? It doesn't make sense that you're growing into a decade plus, if not two, or doing one thing and then it doesn't become easy. But also, you must then agree with me that if you've done something constantly repeatable for so long, it starts to manifest itself in its true essence. And the true essence of music is just, or rap music is like rhythmically applying poetry. You just start to rhythmically apply poetry every time you do it. It's not, if you've done it for so long and it's struggling, then
right.
There's a problem.
Is this the year of Teslim?
Yes, it is the year.
It's kind of always reminds me of Dre and Detox. Are you that kind of perfectionist that it has to sound this way? I have to say this, or why do we have to? Fans don't mind wait, but on the flip side, this will have been done way before now.
Yes.
What makes it really important to keep it and tweak it to the point that you want?
I think calling yourself a perfectionist is a faulty argument, since perfectionism is so you're a myth. But I'd rather be a spiritualist. I let my spirit determine what it is. For so many years, we've let too many external factors determine what our internal gifts are. But then again, they are not on the inside, on the outside for a reason. Right? So yes, I admit that I get carried away with societal pressure sometimes. I have been in that shoe before, but now it's more of like when my spirit is ready to go, it's ready to go. So I've been building the album for so long. Well, I know I was looking for something. I was looking for that spark of truth to myself. Because a lot of us, we tend to be out there looking like, yeah, it's all good, but we like transmission. I was looking for that spark of truth. I wanted to make music that when you listen, it touched your soul over just your body. And I can say at this point,
you found it.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is there a time like
the timeline will be, I also want real followership. I miss the era where people didn't have pressure to meet up with an expectation. You just release it. I said, government was going to find phrase. I said something like, no one has shut me out. It has made you guys think you have the power to influence the creative process. You have the power to influence it in the way of love, not in the way of order or command or demand. The relationship will forever be, I create, you accept. If it doesn't work for you, it's okay. It hasn't worked for a lot of people and they're not fans. It's okay. Right? But it will be one step at a time. So there's Early Momo. It was a shocker, I believe. Right. Crown of Clay is next. I'm sure that will be another shot. Right. And then the next one. I want there to be interaction. I want it to be real-time interaction and not just don't do it. So when the album is ready, we'll definitely make noise about that. But for now, it's one step at a time.
Right. I was going to talk about Crown of Play in the music sense, but again, it's hard to ignore the elephant in the room. And I'll take you back to say Hov and Nas, and there was real animosity between these guys, right? And now, many years later, it's been a long time. You can see that there's this friendship between them, even though Jay-Z still has that thing. Every time Nas has something out, Jay-Z will drop regardless. He's been doing that since Ether, I think. But you and MI, it's documented, everybody knows this, that. For a while, I felt like there was real animosity between these two guys. Now, you've been able to talk about it, you are probably doing business together, you're on the song together. Is that friendship or civility? Like, okay, yeah, this guy will be school. We've talked about it in school. Or is it like, oh, gee, that will cool?
I like the question and I like how you phrased it. I won't say it's friendship per se because it's still acquaintance of some sort. But it's also us being civil, so it's pretty much civility that looks like it's going to lead to more than just being civil. But yeah, we have an EP dropping in Hennessy, and I remember one of the records that we had. My verse was, a part of my verse was, we've seen big and pop, we've seen greatness take greatness out when it was left on the wing. We can't overemphasize the fact that we are the ones that have adages and proverbs and we've had all these before colonialism and everything. So what then is the value of the wisdom if we won't settle this? What's the value of being men? We all know war is stupid. I mean, and let's make it clear. We love peace, but we don't mind war. And that's my story. I'm not fair. We are peaceful people, but if we bring fights, right? But it's really us just being men and then also like taking responsibility. Because I've also seen a lot of like vile back and forth on social media. And if I can say to say Rocky Raw, when he came back to Africa and he's making music, I'm like, yo, we don't need all those AR-15 AK-47 punchlines in Africa. This is the last line of defense for our mentality. Like, we can't afford to have an American story of gang banging and murder and all that. Even though it already is a thing, we can't appropriate that culture any further. So it's on us to make sure it doesn't escalate beyond what it is. Because I'm from Lagos and I have people who literally go out there. And that is not my plan. There's too much anxiety here.
Right. It's heavy because you know that there are folks that only need to say remove.
I have folks who are just need to tell. Like that's the funny thing. Because I'm always in that way, Germany, when I talk to guys and everything. I have people who I'm a beacon of hope for, or I'm an epitome of the wind, of growth for. I literally came up from Makati Barracks. That kid was thinking, and everybody goes, we over there, I can't find work. And this is me right now, a global name. I can't afford to be sleeping. Then how does that differentiate me from the politically driven people? Right? So we must make sure that we save as much as we can save.
You do have a lot to speak on Nigerian politics and the political class, don't you?
Not in a professional way.
Yeah, I get it, exactly, because I see those private tweets like, come on, like, is this something that you're open to running for elected position?
They told me in the barracks when I went there with Sky actually that we expect you for 2023. I'm like, nope.
Too soon?
It's not a matter of too soon. I will only maybe deal with office I will run for. So I will maybe deal with office if it's a situation of if you want something done right, do it yourself. However, I feel like my goal is to awaken people to the essential value of themselves so that they are able to at least own whatever decisions they make, whether it's right or wrong. Let them be able to own their decision. So if you're following somebody, know wholeheartedly that you're following this person, bear in mind what the probable consequences are. So my goal is not to go out there and be a politician, it's to maybe afobaje
which is powerful.
Yes, yeah. The king is okay. Like, I'd rather awaken you to the fact that, say for example, you're an African. If Moses is from Africa and man is the greatest connection of man, you have the same girl. Like, if Egypt is in Africa, then that's spirituality extends to us. So you are important, you're more important than you think you are, or that you told you.
Right. Anyway, to wrap up, it's a busy year for you, sir.
Yes.
There's the Hennessy, there's the album, there's a bunch of singles. You know, what are the things that you're working on this year? Just, you know, as a glimpse into your plan for the year. It's a crazy year. We've cancelled 2020, so it's almost like that you have to do over.
It's weird that I had a tweet about 2020 as the balance year and 2021 as the refresh.
Right.
And that's what I say is 2021 is the refresh year. It's the year where one has been added to the table. Right. So it's 2020 added one to one. So I expect anybody that is in this year to restart. At least Corona don't let everybody know see nobody is Superman. Yeah. And that's a valuable thing to learn. You can apply that to racism.
Right.
It's taking both black and white. Right. So that's a bigger Ku Klux Klan reality. But this year is the year of testing, definitely. But then it's also the year of, for me, it's the year of soul. So all the work will be definitely getting towards the innate, even though you feel it in your body and you love it. So it's one step at a time, like I said. First of all, Early Momo, great reception. Crown of Clay, I know definitely great reception, right? Then we follow up. I'd like for everybody to actually real time follow the artist and not it be like not the typical package where I miss interacting real time. So it's just going to be a lot of work. I can't really give you insights as to now. But then we also have something called Conscious Food that is about just the enlightenment towards people understanding the value of themselves in the equation. So if you follow me on social media, a lot of unveiling will be done.
Let's talk about Early Momo.
Yes.
What's that again? Sounds like they're joking, sounds like they're playful, but it's serious.
Isn't that the balance in life?
Is it now?
It's also to let you know that I may be cerebral according to many. I may be seen the type of way, but yes, I'm a man. I mean, you must love me. Yes, you must love me. You must make music in that life. So yeah, it's pretty much appreciating that side of my life. It's a very important side of my life.
Right. Yeah. And the reception is not bad either, is it?
Like this reception, this is a marriage. How to share with love.
I will chill that one. Yeah. Alright, so
I was a guy invented 5.8 A, B, C, and I wrote down my Instagram things. They thought the vibe of love with songs that look your style. I can't, it says something.
Read that one out. That one is what we want.
Okay. These are the Instagram, but just for the guy. Remember that night when he told you that if I of yours is beside me and it's a person personally for the lady, I was a lady, and I wanted to talk to you about something for the past 5 years now. Talking to you and meeting you in person would be a beautiful thing. Aww. And this fucking thing, bro, your music proves the soul. Thank you so much, bro. I was really sad and depressed today. And all I wanted to do was hear good music, and suddenly your latest song came up. And I've been hearing this Early Momo since morning. Thanks so much, bro. I don't know where to smoke, but sing this song, bro. I don't know if you'll do that really play, bro. Really play sing that song, bro. That you'll do that, I need to particularly sing, bro.
That's what's up.
Hey, Vector, yo. I can't hold it anywhere again. I'm pretty sure a lot of girls have told you this already. I'm so into you and I have a great crush. You could chill actually if you want to text you don't know a chance.
Should she be waiting for you?
I'll take a picture of you.